Getting settled in here a little bit. Uh, sure everything's good. Might hear some splashing from the turtles, but this is my first recording using this equipment, and just want to say good day. Thank you for listening. If you get a chance to listen to this, this is just the prequel. This is just the uh, preemptive move of trying to create a podcast and trying to create you know, a discussion, a platform for discussion about whatever it is that, whatever truth that you decide you are living in, within your reality and, what's literally going on outside as well, of ourselves. And I just wanted to make a quick one. I'm going to make this pretty quick, I guess. I just wanted to make this one regarding alcoholism. And I don't have any statistics. I don't have any papers in front of me that can literally that I can look at and tell you word for word and give you all of these figures and these numbers and data. I'm just going from what's coming from my heart and what's what my mind is articulating and what I feel about it. So alcoholism, especially with this whole fluvid COVID pandemic, scandemic, it definitely, you know, has had an impact on families, people, and it's all an illusion. Like this, there was never any pandemic. This is all fear monger based information that the news outlets, which are owned by pretty much the same companies that everything else is owned by, whether from your car manufacturers, from things you buy at the stores, like big box stores like Home Depot, Costco, BJ's, even down into housing markets, gasoline companies. They're all owned by the same entities that are propagating this fear mongering on news outlets. It's all cohesive, one cohesive unit that is inflicting and afflicting us with the nonsense. And people need to become aware of this. I don't know, I'm just trying to do what I can do, which is me sharing this, me getting this equipment and letting my voice be heard, because I've never been the type to really speak up until later years of my life. And even now sometimes it's a little difficult, but I'm here. I feel it in my soul that I have to speak, so I'm going to do it. And whether who listens, whoever doesn't listen, I'm taking the step to trying to connect with people, network with people that we don't always have to see eye to eye, just to have a mutual understanding of our differences, and not getting angry at each other about it. Just coming together and having wonderful discussions about what we expect from life, what we expect from each other. And the biggest thing that you can probably say, like I don't want to even set expectations, because expectations lead to disappointment. But intention of love, having a loving awareness about our fellow man, fellow human. And I always say spell human, HUEMAN, because we all come in different shades and hues. And a good friend of mine told me that, and it just blew my mind, and I stuck with it. But yeah, so I'm just gonna focus on alcoholism and the pandemic, scamdemic, and how it's definitely spiked alcohol sales. It's definitely hurt small business, and I want to really talk about guys too. So it's all gonna be encapsulated with the term alcoholism. So from I have maybe like one or two figures, from throughout this whole scamdemic, pandemic. Alcohol sales went up 300 to 400%. That's really astronomical. And I've gone to bars. I drink. I severely cut down how much I have drank, especially through this whole pandemic shit. But you go into bars. I mean, of course, you will see more you know, you can there's a potential to have more women than men in a bar, you know, but on a normal basis, there's usually more guys in the bar than there are women. And I, you know, started thinking about this, like, why? And not saying that it's a bad thing or a good thing, but just like my opinion of it and my perception of it is that uh, us being men and being, you know, grown, you know, brought up in this society, especially now, how we're being emasculated on a massive scale, um, you know, it teaches men not to be sensitive, not to be vulnerable, to bottle things up. You know, when you do all of that stuff, you become an angry and miserable, depressed individual. And I recently gone through this experience in my life where, you know, the two primary things that a human being feels is love and fear. And those are umbrella terms for, you know, different things. Love could be joy, happiness, you know, can't think of any other words right now, but, you know, just anything that makes you feel good, you know, determination, motivation. And then fear can be disappointment, anger, anxiety, depression. And this society that we're being brought up, it literally, the focus is on fear. If you guys haven't noticed, like, I thought that you know, I have an Instagram and I share, you know, whatever I feel, but, and, you know, trying to, you know, stand up for our rights and show, like, hey, look, we're all being duped, but we're doing it, they're doing it to us by inflicting fear on us. And I thought I wasn't really living in a world of fear, like in my world, and, or, you know, living in fear myself. And I've come to terms that I have been, and I probably still am, and I'm aware of that. And definitely want to shift the focus to love, loving awareness, being there for my fellow man, being compassionate, and yeah. And I feel like this is what God has put me here for, to speak. You know, I might try to get into some music, play an instrument, because a tool, we're all vibrating at a frequency. And someone told me this, you know, the instrument is just a tool, and whatever your vibe is, you know, you're just gonna channel that into the instrument and let the world hear, whoever has their ears open. So, yeah, so that was, you know, a beautiful thing that this person mentioned to me, and it resonated with me and it stuck with me. And, you know, going back to like the alcoholism thing, you know, why are there so many guys in bars, or so many guys drinking, guys committing suicide? I think the rate is like, you know, 3 to 1 compared to females in the world. But, you know, it's just saddening that, you know, we're not taught to deal with our emotions. And, you know, and going around, you know, oh, you know, men don't cry, men are not supposed to cry. And, you know, this is all nonsense that we're taught. You know, I've been, you know, looking up more into masculine and feminine energy, and men and women have both. You know, I would assume a man will have more masculine energy, and a woman will have more feminine energy, and there are qualities attributed with those, you know, those energies. I don't have a printout in front of me, but I do have the information on my phone, and maybe at a later date I'll have it ready for whoever wants to listen and watch. And alcoholism is definitely terrible. Like, why are we taught so much? You know, we see commercials, we see in these movies, oh, I need a drink, or I want a drink. Not even I need a drink. Like, especially after a long day of working a 9 to 5 corporate job, or whatever corporate job. I'm so done with corporate jobs. I don't want to give my time and my energy to someone that's benefiting way more than I am, and I'm pretty much just a number to these guys in their eyes, you know. And like I said, most of these corporations are owned by the same entities anyway, BlackRock, Vanguard, whatever. I'm not gonna get into that, but focusing back on alcoholism, and I'm sorry if I apologize if I keep straying away. There's just so much to talk about, because there's so much anguish in the world. There's so much fear mongering, people living in fear, people scared to die. You know, I'm scared to die a little bit, but like, I've come to terms, like, you know, whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. I know that we are a part of a energetic collective consciousness, and, you know, and we're all that is, has been, and ever will be. And that's a quote from David Icke, or Icky, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, and that guy is amazing. energy can't be created or destroyed, only transformed. And energy, it's always there. Everything in our lives is energy. We're energy. The amount of power that a human being can generate, or on a normal basis, is just it's like unfathomable. And we're taught to be some insignificant being living on a spinning rock, uh, hurtling through space. Evolved monkeys. But it's another discussion. But the alcoholism is just the insignificance and making men feel insignificant, and they have to use a depressant like alcohol to sedate the pain and the trauma that they've been through and we've been through, and not really dealing with our emotions. And this is why I'm also opening this platform too. We got to get guys on here to speak about their trauma, speak about how their upbringing has had an effect on their life, and their decisions and their emotions, being vulnerable. And what else? They're just terrible. These, like I was saying before, these ads, these commercials, movies. Oh, I need a drink. I need a drink, or just keep advertising. It's basically poison. Pick your poison. And like I said, I do drink on occasion, but I know that I don't need to, and I'm more of a social drinker. I'd rather go out and be with friends or family, maybe have a beer or two, or I don't get crazy anymore. I've had that. I went through that phase of my life, and not caring about my body, and I've been taking steps to heal my body, heal myself, and all of us should start doing the same, and not stop using this poison to sedate ourselves, and just being content and being vulnerable and being authentic, and not knowing, being aware that we don't need to do this stuff to drown our sorrows or our guilt, our shame, our anger, our fears, because they call alcohol liquid courage, and people do act out of character, and I'm guilty of it too. But it's still awareness, man. The awareness is definitely key, and just moving forward. I just want to get people on here. I'll speak about some stuff, and whoever's watching this, if you want to join in, you have your own equipment, you want to Zoom. I'm not super technologically savvy. I mean, I know if I read some directions, I'll probably be all right. But if someone has the capability of explaining to me, like, oh, doing a Zoom meeting over a phone, or doing a FaceTime over the phone while recording, this information, or them sending me, I'll figure it out, and I definitely appreciate the input. Whoever chimes in about having discussions like this, and having the right equipment, and just coming together, and producing something beautiful, man. And I just had a thought just popped in my head about just us being a human being. Like, we're all artists. We're the the screenwriters and masters of our own show, and we got to start taking accountability and being responsible for this, and being aware of this. Like, it's so important that we create and control. I don't even want to use the word control. Recent events has made me emphasize on creating. We're all creators. We're all artists, and we have our outlets in different ways. And a lot of people don't know what their outlet is. And I'm still trying to figure out what my outlets are. Like, I do like doing this here. This is awesome. I like photography. Love music. I love cars. These are all material things, but it's also being aware of self, and understanding yourself more and more, and just having a deeper connection with yourself. And this is another reason why I want to create this. And it's been a few months in the making. A lot of procrastination, a lot of laziness, a lot of being unmotivated. But recent events has definitely, I'm just literally on a whim just set everything up, and here I am talking to you. But alcoholism is very detrimental. I can see the devastating effects it has on families, how on your health and people. And we got to turn this around. We have to do a 180, man. We need to stop drowning our sorrows. We need to start living in love, embracing each other, being vulnerable. Hey, bro, you want a hug? I'll hug you. I'll hug anybody. I'll hug a stranger. It doesn't even matter. Um, I like, and a big thing with love is, reciprocated. You know, uh, positivity can only thrive when positivity comes around. There's no room for negativity, and it also works the same way. Negativity is thriving. Positivity can't live there, and it's time to shift the focus to being loving, compassionate, and also like this all comes into play with everything. It's just everything is so vast, but it's all connected. And what I mean by that is the lies that we've been taught while we were growing up, about our very home, about ourselves, about where we come from, about who we are. It's all connected, and the more people start questioning this and start putting the puzzle pieces together. And I'm willing to help with anybody, and I would want people to put pieces together with me, because I don't know everything. I'm just speaking from my soul and from my mind to you guys right now. And so that's where I'm at. We have to change this mindset, this mind frame, that we need to drown ourselves. And alcoholism, smoking, it's okay. I feel like moderation is a big thing, and that's how I am with my food. Like, just limit what you feel is bad for you, or what is bad for you. There's data on pretty much every food you can eat, and what's good and what's bad deep down. And your gut produces 90% of your serotonin, one of the feel-good hormones, and your brain literally sits on your gastrointestinal tract. So your gut is your first primary brain. That's your fight or flight thing. Like, this is what kicks on before your brain even has a chance to process it. And so what you ingest is definitely 90% important, and it's going to dictate 90% of how you feel. If you eat good, you're going to feel good, and I've been there. I have a seeded watermelon sitting right there. I'm about to cut it up. I try to eat organic, but I have my tidbits where I eat cake, cookies, and stuff, but just moderation. I try to be mindful. I'm about, I would say, like 80 to 90% good and 10 to 20% bad, or within reason, depending on how far I go. And someone always told me, it's what you do during the week that's going to dictate your life. The week 5 days compared to the weekend 2 days, and it's really going to dictate, like, what you do over the week is really going to dictate your what you eat. Really is going to dictate how healthy you're going to be, what you eat and drink. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else before I get out of here. Yeah, alcoholism is heavy, man. It's very heavy. And I'm gonna probably do a part 2, maybe even a part 3 to this. Hopefully I have some people join in about alcoholism, and just being aware and conscious about it, and the devastating effects of it. It's a very terrible thing, very terrible. The lives that I could imagine it has destroyed over, and causing generational trauma. Oh man, I'm here to break generational curses. If you guys aren't aware about that, that's why I'm doing this whole thing. We have to break out of this. Like, we don't need any more trauma. We need to heal. So, if anyone has anything to chime in about alcoholism, share a story. Let me know if you want to speak up. You want to record some audio, or you want to have a discussion. If you're more technologically savvy than I am, and know how to set all of this stuff up properly, just let me know. But I'm here. I'm not sure where I'm going to upload this, but wherever I upload this, if I decide to upload it, most likely it will be on my Instagram. So my Instagram is zealous, ZEALOUS.rush. My TikTok is also the same name. And I'm going to probably create a YouTube channel. And if I do, it's going to be the same name. And maybe a Rumble and, other private, uploaders that I can use that won't censor, because YouTube censors and all of these social media platforms censor information and try to deem just free information disinformation. Like there's a bias towards certain things and what you say, which doesn't make any sense. You know, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. Like, come on, guys. Like, but it's done on purpose. They're trying to keep us distracted from the main picture, which is knowing and understanding ourselves, knowing what's going on in the world. Because United States, America, the fear mongering and the censorship is really ridiculous. And you know, I advise people to start following independent journalists. You know, I'm sure a lot of you guys are watching podcasts already. Just open discussions about things that people don't normally talk about or are uncomfortable, you know, about talking about it or whatever it is. And I'm ready for all of that, man. I'll be blunt. I'll be straightforward. I don't, you know, I can take criticism, judgment, and I'm not here to judge anybody, and I don't want anyone to really judge me based on, you know, my beliefs. I won't do that to them. But you know, growing up in this society, we're taught to be judgmental. We're taught to be materialistic. We're taught to be, you know, this whole classist society. Um, just got to break down these walls and these barriers, these boundaries, and expand. You know, we have to go. You know, I believe the Earth is flat, and so me mentioning boundaries and barriers, we have to go to the boundary that's keeping us here, which is Antarctica, which is encircling the whole earthly realm that we know. I know this. I don't believe it's a theory, and I used to believe in the globular Earth before. Maybe I'm 33, so I probably believed it until I was 30, 31. And just the amount of evidence that contradicts what the globe Earth, you know, is and what we're taught is, there's so much evidence, so much empirical evidence is, and you know, a lot of people have, you know, cognitive dissonance and Stockholm syndrome, and you know, they don't want to take accountability for looking something up. They just want to take the word, you know, of someone else, and they try to defend them too. Like people are defending their abusers, man. It's just like an abusive relationship where, you know, a man or a woman being abused, they'll leave, but then they'll go back. It's like a part of them likes the abuse. I don't know what it is. It's comfortability or stability or safety. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on that. And that's another discussion for another time. And you know, I know I was trying to base this on alcoholism, and I, you know, I hope I got some points across to you. But this is just, like I said, everything is so vast, and we can hone in on different parts. You know, the Earth being flat, alcoholism, smoking, family trauma, generational trauma, breaking generational curses, coming together, living off grid, having communities where people barter, exchange goods, and you know, growing our own stuff. Like, it's so vast. There's so many things to cover, and I love it. I love it. So I'm gonna leave this here, and I appreciate whoever listens, whoever watches. Thank you for your time. Turtles splashing around in the back there, but catch you guys later.